Hello people, today I have with us the Gundam Pharact, and this is a high-grade model from the Witch From Mercury series, based on the anime of the same name. There is a small write-up on this one. I'll go ahead and read that. Gundam-type mobile suit developed by Peel Technologies. The Pharact enjoys new thrusters known as blast boosters, which give the unit flight capabilities Peel is known for. The gun format allows it to effectively regulate inertia, enabling it to engage in battle on all three axes, whether in space or under gravity. The Pharact apprehends enemies using its gun-bit stun feature and can attack from any position thanks to its high mobility and precision sniping skills. This is all thanks to Pharact's Gundam system and its pilot, Elan Ceres. There's also a write-up about Elan. The top pilot backed by PL Technologies, one of the Venerate Group's three branches. A third-year student in piloting development and head of the PL House. Elan has a taciturn and solitary personality who doesn't open his heart to anyone in school. He is interested in Soletta. All right, and so we're going to go ahead and get into the articulation on this one, which is quite a lot to it. Excuse me while I remove his hand there. That gun is rather large, as you see here. It's as big as he is. So don't want that to get in the way. These will probably be coming off pretty soon too. So basically we have in the head 2 points of articulation. Like normal, the ball joint that goes down in the bottom and the ball joint into the head. The head itself is really cool. I really enjoyed putting that one together. It's a very interesting looking head for as far as Gundams go. Moving back to the back, because these ones are higher than his shoulders, there are several points of articulation that this can move in. These are attached to little loops here, so they can move back and forth like so, and then revolve around the point at the end here. Let's see if we can get my hand out of the way. There we go. Revolve around that to act as his shoulder armor. They can also pivot on the top part here and move up and down on that part here. So quite a lot of articulation, like I said. You can get that in several positions. This also opens up and moves forward. There's a thruster in the back and a thruster in the front. So obviously this thing is meant for 3D movement or movement in space where gravity isn't as much of an issue. But can also be used on the ground. Another point of articulation here, where the joints move together, you can turn this one here up and down, or around and up and down. Although you'll probably want to move that out first. Let's see, how do I do it? There you go. And then these are some of the gun bits that it uses in its sort of all-range attack, like they called that in other shows. So we'll move these out of the way real quick. Onto the shoulders. So the shoulders are pretty interesting here. They are ball jointed into position here, and of course they can move up and down on the very strange system that they included in the waist, or in the upper torso. So it gives you quite a lot of movement, and these are actuated along with that movement. And then, of course, it is in a ball joint, so you get some of that turn. You can also rotate it on that axis, and yeah, anything a ball joint can do. These ones are very well articulated as well. You can get 90 degrees here, and then all the way out straight, a little bit beyond straight, but then they are going to usually be covered up with these armor bits. You can rotate this point here all the way around. Only 1 point of articulation at the elbow, but they included another piece of articulation in this one, and that is right here in the lower arm. They included a place to put your beam saber, which is pretty cool. And then, of course, we have a ball jointed wrist. Nice and easy. Not much to write home about. We all know about those guys. Your waist is ball jointed up into the top. can move back, forth, left, right as you'd like. And then, of course, ball jointed into the bottom here. Is it ball jointed? I don't remember. Let's see. No, it's not ball jointed. Okay. So it's not ball jointed in the bottom. We can rotate it here and move it up and down, but it is on a locked in system here. So it's pretty unique to the to this as far as the Witch from Mercury stuff goes. I haven't seen that on anything else so far, but it's a very nice system, very sturdy, holds that in place better than a ball joint would, and still gets you that motion that you need. Moving these guys aside here. Our legs are on a very similar system that we've seen before. We got a very thick peg that goes into this section here. No drop down on that. That one plugs in here. You can move that around that axis. And then of course you can actuate the joint inside the hip and rotate it on that axis as well. The leg armor does limit that, but not by too much. The front section here moves up and down. And we have a very basic 2-joint system on the knee, which only gets you to about 90 degrees, but it does that in style. The foot is a lot. We're going to get into that one right now. So the foot, it's split into 2 parts. The foot in the back moves out of the way. And stretches out this way. I think you use these as thrusters, so that's why those are there. You move those around all kinds of different directions, and they can rotate, move up and down here, and then another point of rotation here. This also moves up and down. Let's see, that locks into the back of his leg. And then we have this one that plugs into there. Rotates at this point, has a ball jointed guard on his ankle, and this one moves up and down as well. So like I said, quite a lot going on with the foot, which is pretty crazy. But that is the overall action you're getting from this guy. Usually before I go into size comparison, I show you what extras come with this. I know you do have that giant weapon, which is a very basic but very cool design weapon, like a sniper rifle. Very nice. And it comes with 2 beam saber effect parts so that you can plug those into the ones that are on his wrist. You also get a open hand, an open expressive hand here for what you would like to use that for. Not a lot, but not a little bit either. Another thing this has that a lot of other things don't have is those gun bits, and those actually come out of these storage bins. They're stored inside that armor, and you can put them on stands with 3mm ports. Maybe. I'm actually not sure how they do that on the artwork. I think they have little claws that hold them, but they are able to be plugged in. Let's see. Actually, I think this one's specific to the Witch from Mercury display base. Has to be clawed into that. But it's still not a big concern. I don't plan on displaying it with these things out. They're pretty basic and dull. Maybe if I had bothered to go through painting them, then maybe I'd want to display them. But for now, I think he's fine. So we're going to go into the size comparison here right now. Actually, before I go on to the size comparison, this is another form of attack that it has. Just wanted to show you guys. This is called the Beak Foot, which is kind of funny. It says the foot unit, it was created to imitate a bird's beak with a beam cannon stored inside, which is effective in space battle. I don't see this beam cannon, but it's probably that, which is kind of cool. And then it looks like it has little thrusters here as well, like I mentioned. So something else that you can do. I was just letting you guys know. All right, and here we have him standing next to the GBN based Gundam. This one is a high grade, also in 1/144 scale, just like he is. I'm actually surprised that he's not taller, just given the way his legs work. I thought they would be longer. He has a short torso, so I thought, I did think he was actually taller, but it looks like the bulkier armor edges him out in height, at least. Here is Alto from the 30-minute mission series. This one is in 1/144 scale as well. Quite a bit shorter than the Pharact here. Definitely a difference in stylistic choices. This one being a lot more round, curvy, sleek looking, where in this one is very bulky and utilitarian. But this one is a 1/100 scale Jinrai from Frame Arm series. Another sleeker model kit. This is Architect from the Frame Arms Girl series. She is in roughly 1/12 scale. You can give or take a little bit on that one, but she is a bit taller than the Pharact. And on the smaller side of my model kits, this is the Hexagear Governor Nero in 1/24 scale. And as you see, he is quite a bit smaller than that guy is. Now, I reckon this would actually be quite a bit taller in Master Grade scale, which is what this one is in 1/100 scale, Alex Gundam. But I think I doubt we'll actually see this one in a full mechanics or Master Grade, just because I think this one was one of the least popular in the series so far. Speaking of, I don't think it was actually the model kit's fault that it was deemed unpopular. It's only that it was piloted by that Elan guy. I think everyone hated him when they first saw him. He seems like a little butthead. But that said, I happen to really like this kit. The PL suits, pale, something. Whatever it is, however you pronounce it properly. P-E-I-L, I believe. Their mobile suits are really cool, and this one is no exception. I really like the skinny legs. I really like the curved surfaces all over it. From the back, it doesn't look bad either. Those feet, they may be a little to be desired there. Big feet are a little bit awkward, but I happen to really like the way this looks overall. I like the way these look like cobras over his shoulder. The way the thrusters pop out of them. It's a really cool look. And this one, so I'm a little disappointed to say that it was on sale in Japan for next to free when I paid $20 for it. But this being the US and people having bought them to try to resell here, it makes sense. You know, you have to make money. So I bought this for $20, and I think it's worth it. As a model kit, it's definitely a cool one. Has a lot of potential for customizability. These really long arms and really narrow, thin legs look like they could be a lot of fun to play with. These units here are a lot of fun to play with. There's a lot of dimension to those things. So I highly recommend this one. Now, I can see not getting it because it was really cheap in Japan. It was an unpopular kit, and you don't want to spend that money. But that said, this isn't Japan. You know, this is how this stuff goes, unfortunately. But that's all I'm going to say about this one. I'm not going to talk bad about it because it is a nice kit and it really looks awesome. One thing I didn't mention. These didn't plug into anything because they actually split, I think. And yeah, so they still need to be carried by the special thing from the Witch from Mercury stand, which I'll have to pick up now. Unfortunately, I wasn't planning on it, but that one has special arms that have attachments for these. But I didn't realize that these were meant to be actually split until I saw the picture on the back of the instruction manual. But they are pretty nifty. And again, these are gunned bits, so they have directing power capabilities, thrusters, they project shields, and they move at the will of the pilot, which was deemed witchcraft in the early parts of that said universe. And that's a lot of fun, which is why, you know, we have a Witch from Mercury, because she pilots a Gundam. But that is all that's going to be said about this guy. If you can see one at a good price, And don't feel bad because they are cheaper in Japan. We don't always get those deals. Buy it because it's definitely a cool looking kit. It has nice colors, nice, almost Titans colors. And it is a very fun mobile suit to build and to play with. So, that said, I will see you guys next time, or you'll see me, but more than likely, you'll see my stuff. Bye-bye.